My name is Wanda Coley.
Yeah, it's really awkward. It's like talking into a phallic symbol. But
I originally met Diane, who has brought me out of the closet, kind of speaking. And when I was a baby, I had pneumonia really bad. I stayed in an oxygen tent for nearly 3 months, fighting for my life. And as you see, I made it. And I grew up, I got married, and I kept on having problems with my lungs and stuff. It kind of followed me on down. But when I was 28 years old, I've become real sick with pneumonia. I was hospitalized for a week, and the doctor thought I was better. He sent me home. 2 days after that, I was throwing up blood from my lungs, pure blood. And I went to seek another doctor out, and I got in with an intern who kept on feeding me antibiotics, trying to get it out of my system. And I just got weaker and just really worn out. And I remember the night of the experience. When I went to bed that night, I was just so drained and so tired, trying to keep up with the kids and the house and everything. And I went and I laid down and I drifted off to sleep. Well, all of a sudden, I woke up. But when I woke up, I was not in my body. I was above my body. And I was just kind of drifting. And I looked down and I see myself there, and my husband was laying beside of me. And instantly, I said, oh my God, I'm died. And by that time, I just started drifting up, and it was just like a dark place, dark tunnel. And I began to go upwards. And I don't recall seeing or anybody being with me, but I just felt so peaceful and calm. And just, I've never felt that good in my whole life. And as I went up, it was like light coming down. I could see the light around me. And as I went on up, the light was real bright. It was beautiful. There was different colors in the light. And all of a sudden, I felt a hand come down on my back. Said, no, you've got to stop. You've got to go back. And at that time, I didn't want to go back. It was like, I've never felt this peace in my life before, and I just felt so good. I wanted to go on. But it was like the Lord talking to me, and I knew it was the Lord. I've been in church all my life, and I've been real close to Him. And He's got me through a whole lot of stuff in my life that was very hard. But He said, you've got to go back. It's not your time. And it was like He was with me the whole way back down, and He was pushing me back down. And as we come back down, I felt myself going back in my body. It was like the breath. I could feel it, when I went back in. And I laid there. I was just totally amazed. And the first thing I wanted to do was tell somebody. Well, I was scared to death to tell anyone, because there had been other things happening in my life, and when I was trying to tell them, they just said, oh, you was asleep or whatever, But there was an angel appeared to me when I was 9 years old. I was very sick then also, and the doctors had told my mom that if I didn't get better, they was going to hospitalize me because I had strep throat, and he was scared it was going to go into scarlet fever. And that night as I prayed, I just opened up my heart to God, and I told Him, I said, well, if it's your will, just take me. I'm ready to go. And that night I was laying there, and I was just thinking, and it was like I was hearing stuff in the house and somebody walking around, and I got really scared, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, somebody's done broke into the house. But as I laid there, and I heard the footsteps coming down the hall towards me, the hall lit up. It was just, the light was brilliant. And then all of a sudden, there was an angel right there in the middle of the light. She was gorgeous. And she said, "Don't be afraid, you're going to be fine." And when she told me this, the very next, well, anyway, after that, I jumped up, she went away, I jumped up and I was trying to tell my mom. I said, "Mom, there was an angel here. I just seen her. She was beautiful." And I was trying to describe it. She said, "Oh, you was just sleeping, you know." And I knew in my heart what I'd seen was real. And it was just amazing. But the very next day after that, my fever was gone and I was well. I had no more problems after that. But also I wanted to say, after my near-death experience, and I went back to the doctors and I told them, I said, "Look, something's got to be done. I'm not getting better." And they put me with the regular doctor there, the head doctor or whatever. And I showed him what was coming up from my lungs and told him how long it had been. I had been like this. And he immediately put me in the hospital. They run tubes and lights down in my lungs. And I'll never forget it. When he come back in my room after doing all this, he said, "I'm just totally amazed." He said, "Your lungs is nothing but a mass of blood in both of them." He said, "They're going to be scarred for life." He said, "If you're smoking, quit." He said, "Because, you know, you'll continually to have problems." And he told me, he said, "It's just amazing that you're still alive." And I knew it was the Lord's hanging on me that day that kept me here and brought me back.